Hi everyone, I hope you're ready for some fashion, because Jared said don't die, but if you have to die, wear something nice. So let's welcome my panel, and let's get the discussion going. Guys, who is coming first? Don't be shy. Laureen, do you want to come up? Should I go looking for them? Yay! Okay, let's take a seat and then let you guys introduce yourself and say a little bit about what you've been working on. Let's start with Laureen.
I'm Lauren Proctor, and I used to work for a think tank that helps luxury brands like Gucci and Chanel come up with digital roadmaps for the next 4 or 5 years. And now I'm actually studying why videos go viral for a YouTube partner company called Bedrocket Media Ventures.
I'm Maciej Dulski. I work for Allegro. I'm country manager for Fashion Days and Marcaphony shopping clubs.
So I'm Chris Morton. I'm the founder and CEO of List. We basically believe it's too hard to buy fashion online right now, so we try to make it much simpler. So we aggregate the inventories of hundreds of big department stores, small boutiques and brands from around the world, and then we create a personalized shopping feed for each of our users based on the brands or bloggers, magazines or boutiques who they follow. So effectively, our users tell us what they're interested in, and we create a bespoke commerce experience for them.
Hi, I'm Michał Juda. I'm the co-founder of Showroom, which is e-commerce platform for independent fashion designers. And we basically give the independent fashion designers like full e-commerce solution so that they can easily sell their clothes and design items online.
And I'm Stasz. I'm the other co-founder of Showroom, and you can find us at shwrm.com.
Nice. So now that we're all friends, let's start our conversation. We were talking back at the green room about F-commerce, and let's start with you, Maciej, because you were not a big fan. So let me know what you think about that.
Actually, it's not. I'm a big. Yes, I am a big fan. Definitely, I am a big fan.
That's not what you've been telling me 5 minutes ago.
I am. The point is, it's simply, Facebook social media can work as a communication channel, right? It's working as, I would say, as hell as a communication channel by far. The point is, if you're running the business, you are selling the stuff. It's important how you see this channel as a sales channel. I mean, how you see the social media as well as a sales channel. Definitely, on the Facebook, you can have fun, you can entertain, you can do a lot with recommendations, which is word of mouth advertising. It's very important. You can do a lot with the display advertising. You can recommend, yeah, sure, this works. I mean, just to extend your reach, to get people know about your product, about your brand, about your models.
But not to make actual sales.
Yeah, but when you go basically to the statistics and you then start counting, okay, so what's there, in the packet, what money you earn and what sales you got, then you realize that, okay, there are two different words, right? Is social media as an information channel, and then is social media as a sales channel. Yeah. And those two words still does not, I would say, come close or work together. Mm-hmm. And anyway, we know Facebook problems or the problems with the actually capitalizing the whole idea, right? So I think the guys are right now really pushing tough to try to capitalize the whole Facebook potential. Yeah, I think so I am a fan, but as far as the sales is concerned, I would be
not convinced yet.
Yeah, and still not converted.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of our partners, certainly in the States, have that division as well. If they're looking for brand engagement, Facebook, Twitter, fantastic. I think if they're looking for a social channel that exists just to drive sales, that's in fact how we market ourselves. So we say, if you're creating all this content for your social channels, you can actually put it through List as well. It's a community of people who have very strong shopping intent, And now for our biggest partners, we're generating around $1 million in sales for them. So it's very easy for them to justify the ROI, for some social media person to manage a list account. But we see that division as well. And I know these guys have a different view.
Well, basically, I think it's first of all we need to define social commerce, because it can be using social media to drive traffic to your existing sales channels, and there are lots of examples that works very well, and lots of brands are doing that very well. And then you have proper f-commerce that would be selling within Facebook. And I think it doesn't work for everyone. It's not solution for every brand, and big brands have big problems. And we've seen last year many brands moving back from Facebook. They invested lots in their F-stores on the fan pages, and then they just closed them down because they didn't get enough money from it. But then you can we work with independent designers, and it's completely other story. And all of our designers using Showroom have application on their fan page, and they sell within this fan page. And we see pretty decent number of orders there, the percentage from all the orders on the platform, it's happening within the fan page. And basically what we think is basically the community around the brand that decides if it works or doesn't. So with big brands, it's not that easy, but with small brand that doesn't have that many fans, but they're very they really like the brand, they even sometimes know the designer themselves, and for them it works pretty well. So I think you cannot say that it doesn't work, it just doesn't work for everyone, but for some of the companies and brands it can work.
Lauren, do you want to add something?
One thing that I think is really interesting is that in the past it's always been Facebook is for socializing and Google is purchase or really intent driven, and now with Facebook gifts, when it's someone's birthday, it no longer says right on their wall happy birthday, it says buy them a gift. And I wonder if that might shift. I would be shocked if Facebook wasn't going to try to figure out how to turn Facebook into more of a commerce driven experience.
It definitely will be interesting to see how this will play out. So back to you, Chris. List has a follow button where users can follow fashion bloggers or stylists or people that they just have common taste with or friends. So I was interested to know what are your observations out of that, out of the data you got? Who do people choose to follow usually? And when it comes to fashion, do the connections within fashion communities matter more than, say, Facebook friends?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. One of the things that we tried a lot earlier on was we had an Open Graph integration. In fact, we're one of the launch partners with Facebook's Open Graph, and we had an auto-follow model. So when you signed up, you'd automatically follow all of your friends, Facebook friends who were already on list. Mm-hmm. And then when we saw individual users' feeds, and they had items recommended by their friends, but also by bloggers they followed, and magazines they followed, and boutiques and brands that they liked, the conversion rate on most of the pure friends was actually very low. And so we started to think more about the difference between the social graph and the taste graph or the interest graph. And we'd say that Facebook is all about the social graph. I'm there because I care about my friends. And we'd say Twitter is more about the interest graph. Maybe most of the people I follow on Twitter I've never met. And I don't really care if I meet them or not. I just I'm interested in what they're saying, and that's why I want to follow them. And with List, we tried to see whether we were very social graph or interest graph, and we realized that we're very much interest graph. So that, and there is maybe like a 5%, or it depends who you are, 5-10% overlap between your social graph and your taste graph. So maybe there is a small facet of my friends who actually want to see what items they're adding, but 95% of those friendships are not based on fashion, and I just want them out of my style feed. Yeah. And in the same way, if I was looking to go to a concert, or a gig, I'd only care about those 5% of people who have good music taste or similar music taste to me. So that's kind of an interesting learning between the social graph and the interest graph. We also see that one of the strongest signals we have is brands. So still, when people sign up, in fact, the first thing we give them is brands to follow, because they have these very strong connections, and those have among the highest conversion rates. Now, that's probably unique to fashion. In other verticals it might be different. But I guess the other thing is that there's a lot of variety between the users. So some users will be much more focused on what magazines are telling them. Other people will be very brand focused. You know, these people might not really care what the item is as long as it's that brand and they want it. And so part of the challenge for us is to appreciate those nuances and to say, oh, this person's actually very focused on W Magazine and Tatler and Nina Garcia, who we have on the site, so let's make sure that those influencer and magazine recommendations are higher up, whereas these other people here are very brand focused.
So maybe there is a need for a startup to come and instead of Facebook Connect on fashion retailers to have a Stylist Connect button.
Watch this space.
Okay, I would like to move back to Lauren, and because you've been studying what makes videos go viral, and fashion brands, they've produced many very expensive, very artistic films, but they don't seem to get it. And when it comes to e-commerce, video and e-commerce still doesn't seem to match. Do you think this will take off at some point, or no? What is going wrong? What is wrong with these people?
I think it will take time. I don't know if anyone saw, but Chanel recently paid Brad Pitt $7 million to appear in a commercial. And that's going to be successful because Brad Pitt is in it, right? Whereas there are all of these young girls, particularly in fashion, who are doing haul videos, which I don't know if this translates, but it's basically girls who go to the shopping mall and then come back and they say, wow, look at this skirt that I bought, and they get hundreds of thousands of views on these haul videos. And one thing that when we talk to these content creators, these independent women who really had no brand before YouTube, they are really analytics-based, very socially driven, and they are really focused on how can we create the biggest viral coefficient possible. And I think that brands haven't had to, up to this point, really do that as much, and what's next is kind of what Chris has been talking about, like really thinking about not just what does the consumer value, but how do we talk to them, and personalizing the message to each person and creating content that's based on that data.
Yeah, so, and a lot of mixing it up with commerce, like curated commerce, but also give it an editorial feel, you'd
Definitely,
say.
Yeah.
So let's go to the showroom guys here, because we've been talking a lot about how the pace of the internet has kind of pushed the production cycle when it comes to brands, but like a big brand can really change up everything. They can change around fashion weeks, around the new needs. So they try to find pop-up stores, flash sales to make up for that. But you guys work with upcoming designers and smaller brands, so do you think that the fact that they are more flexible when it comes to answering these demands, when it comes to production, will this give them an advantage?
Yeah, I believe so. First thing I would say is that being an upcoming designer, there's no really room for mistakes. So if you make a collection that really doesn't sell, you need to be ready to basically hit the market with another collection or with another product, because either way, you're gonna disappear really fast as you actually appeared on the market. Other thing is, I would say that we get the experience from working with almost 500 brands. And I would divide them between few categories. And for example, like luxury designers work very different. And they're kind of into this fashion cycle, and they stick to it mainly because they take part in the fashion events, fashion weeks, etc. And they need to have collections like summer or autumn, winter, spring, summer. They have to be ready to show the like complete collections. And the casual brands and streetwear doesn't really work with it. So basically, they are looking for the trends. The social media is very important here as well, because they get great feedback, and it's very fast. It's like basically it happens at the moment. So they show a new pattern, and the consumers vote actually. For example, on Facebook, they vote with likes. The new pattern, the new T-shirt, the new sweatshirt gets 500 likes. So the designer knows that, okay, it's gonna be a hit, so I'm gonna be ready within 2 weeks. Or For example, they show something new and the people tell them we don't like it. So it's very simple.
And also, like for the independent designers, they like the whole like production process is much shorter than for bigger brands because they don't really need to, for example, organize like very big photo shoot, like hire a great photographer. We see that our brands sometimes even just take pictures with their own camera and just upload them on Facebook and start selling as soon as possible. And within the time when the big brand can basically put the pictures on the website, they can sell, they can be like sold with the whole collection already because they were simply fast. And I think the big brands like observe that very keen, and they try to learn from independent brands. We already like seen some big brands trying to steal some ideas from independent designers. But basically, I think they could learn a lot of things, especially as Jacek said, when it comes to social media. When you consult, like when you ask people if they like which of those products they like the more, they answer you, and then there is very big chance they are going to buy this product because they feel they voted for it, that it appears in the collection. So I think, yeah, it's big changes are coming to like traditional fashion brands. But
you also see a lot of sites like Showroom or Star Trek. You see young designers kind of teaming up together.
Yeah, because basically for them it's pretty hard to reach to new people because they have their fan page. What's very interesting, some of the independent designers even don't have a website because they concentrate on Facebook. They can update people. It's like two directions, the communications in two directions, so it's much better for them. But basically they have problem with reaching to new people, and multi-brand stores are very good place for them to sell their items because basically lots of people come there to shop for different brands, and then suddenly they find out there's another cool brand, they like it on Facebook, and from this moment they are updated with new products, and that's how they basically grow and
Okay, so let's talk about digital trends when it comes to fashion for 2013 and beyond. Tell me, what will you be keeping an eye on? Let's start with you, Lorraine.
Before this, we actually claimed our ideas, and they went first. So I went into beyond, and I chose 3D printing. And I think that this is going to be huge for not just fashion, but all of commerce. What does it mean that in the future, someone can buy a printer? Right now, they're about $2,500. You can buy a MakerBot, and you can print out a wrench or pretty much any item that you can model. Kids are printing out toys now. And eventually, they're saying that we're going to be able to print out electronics. And there's a fashion company right now called Continuum Fashion, and you can say, I want this item, and they will print it out for you. And so what does that say? What does that mean for brands in the future if consumers can literally exchange the prototypes and then print it out?
Will there be more fake Fendis on the way then?
Who knows?
You?
Yeah, I think that basically the biggest retailers will go for own brands. Like Guild, like Ruelala. I think they're already doing this quite strongly in 2012, definitely in 2013. This is the way they can develop their own brands, just among those beautiful A brands, B brands. This is how they will install and develop the business, I think, in 2013. Just because it's not only about the own brand, it's about the business things like margin and the style and the design and the simply new products they can develop by themselves and offer to customers.
That's interesting.
So I got the easy one. I think, and it's also, it's not really, it is the future, but it's also been happening now. I mean, we started the year with 10% mobile traffic. We're already at 20% now. We think we'll be at 30% early next year. We know how many sales our partner sites are generating through iOS alone. So it's not just us, and it's mind-boggling. So, just to give a complete experience. So users might be looking at list on the handset, finding things they want to add to their list, and then going home to actually check out. or it could be the opposite. They could actually add something to the list at the office, and then they might get an alert saying, hey, this thing that you added to your list is now on sale, and you can just buy it on the handset. So that's kind of like the first bit of mobile which is happening today. And you know, we're seeing like the checkout process, which is still like a big issue, getting a little bit easier, but hopefully, you know, that needs to get down to some sort of iTunes-like simplicity for people to really be buying in the amounts they want to buy. But the other thing that we think about a lot is basically the interface between the real world and the digital world. So what I would love is I'd love to be walking down Fifth Avenue in New York and to get an alert on my handset saying, Chris, this item that you added to your list is available in this store in this size right here. Go check it out. Or even, you know, this item that somebody you follow has just added, it's in this size in your store, go and check it out. Yeah. So to really, you know,
so kind of merging the online and offline experience.
Absolutely. And that has its own challenges, but I think, you know, more long term, that's something that we'll see much more of.
Is it true though that people actually shop more on tablets than on mobile? What do the stats say to you?
So if you're looking just at the commerce, the purchase action, yes, it's more on tablet. But you know, a lot of the browsing that happens beforehand is done on
maybe research on mobile and actual shopping.
Absolutely. So like, you know, the way that we've built, you know, our mobile site is, you know, it's very easy just to browse, add to your list with a click, browse. So it's really low commitment, just it's automatically done, so you can capture that intent without any of the pain of having to check out. But the checkout pain is still more significant on this screen than a tablet.
You guys, you can pick one each.
Okay, so for us, and I think Chris will agree with me, like the sizes are the biggest challenge right now, and like basically in selling fashion online, I think everyone can imagine why so. Like different brands have different size charts, different size tables. You can have large size in one brand and medium size in other brand, and basically that's pretty big problem. And when basically this issue is not addressed, then the returns rates go up very high, and we struggle with sizes, with different designers having even different like types of sizes, 1 to 3, ML, etc. And I think there is lots of innovation that can happen in this area, especially that like the new technology like 3D scanners is getting cheaper. And I think soon, I don't know if it's 2013 or maybe a little bit later, but like all of us will have our 3D scans saved somewhere on some, maybe some startup will do that. And then we will be able to go to website, to e-commerce site, and basically we will be shown only the products that would perfectly fit us. Also, avatars are becoming pretty popular. Right now they look a little bit funny when you try all the 3D animations on websites. I think that doesn't look that good, but within a few years I think that could definitely change the game when it comes to selling fashion online.
Jan, anything to add?
Yeah, and I would say that for years fashion was kind of like monologue of influencers and the industry, and these were the people telling the customers what to wear. And it's going to move into the dialogue between industry and customer, and the market will definitely reach for both for customers and for bloggers and for people who are really into fashion. They are not professional, they are amateurs, but they have really big impact on other customers, and therefore they will have the impact on the market as well.
Thank you all. I'm afraid we don't have time for questions from the audience, but feel free to stalk any of us offline or online. I don't know your preference. And hopefully I'll see you all again soon.
Thank you.